TG Geeks, episode 110, March 20th, 2017. It's the middle of March. Why is the air conditioner running? Hello and welcome to another webcast from tggeeks.com, where Ben and Keith, the Two Gay Geeks, talk about all aspects of geekdom and nerdery, sci-fi, comics, film, horror genre. You name it, we talk about it. I'm Keith Lane, and we're coming to you from TG Squared Studios in lovely 94 degrees Phoenix, Arizona.
And I'm Ben Raggington, also coming to you from, woohoo, we are back! Phoenix, Arizona. And why have we been away for so long? I think we need an explanation.
Oh, just lots of work travel. 7 weeks of it.
That's obscene.
Monday to Friday.
That's obscene.
Yeah,
on all aspects. I mean, you were gone for 7 weeks in a row. The cats hated it. I hated it. I'm sure the customer loved it, but I know you hated it.
It was difficult. Yes,
it was tough, but that part is done.
It is done.
That part is done. So now you're home, and I have to say I have missed doing this show.
Yeah, it's been different not doing the show.
Yeah, I mean, putting out stories whenever possible. Work's been stupid for me too. Put out the stories and reviews whenever possible, but it's nice to be able to do this again. I've missed it a lot.
Yeah, so let's get right to it then.
And this story kind of came out just like days ago. In fact, I remember I was at work and you messaged me about this. Wow, Warner Brothers, they're having problems.
Really, you think?
I'm trying to be nice. I've been accused of being a little bit too mean when it comes to the Warner Brothers DC Extended Universe thing, but I just got to say, they're having problems.
Deserve meanness.
They do? Do they?
Well,
and okay, let's put a pin in that because I kind of want to. Maybe I want to revisit that. But what's happened is Aquaman has now been given the delay. Yes, it's been shelved and it's been pushed back. And instead of hitting theaters in October of 2018, it's now going to be coming out during the holidays of that same year. It's only 2 months, but still, and there's some fans that are kind of wondering. 2 months is not a big deal. Let's be real. It's not a huge deal. But think of the PR.
But it's 2 years from now. That's 2 years.
True. That is a good point. 2 years from now, how come they have to push it back 2 months already? So there's some kind of little grumblings going on about that. Fans are not expecting the kind of pushback. Pre-production has already started. James Wan is still directing, but they've had to keep getting new writers on this. And right now, the latest one is Patrick Wilson. He's working on the script. And the one positive thing is Jason Momoa, who plays Aquaman himself, has been doing. He's been sharing a lot of little photos and videos of him doing his workouts, his training updates, both on Twitter and Instagram. So there's this indication that something is going on. But look at what's happened here. I mean, okay, Batman.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of controversy regarding that.
Which one?
Which one? The Ben Affleck one.
Oh,
that one. I mean, there's like Ben Affleck's directing. Now he's not directing. Now I'm only going to be working in starring in the role. Now I'm not sure I really want to do the movie. Oh, let's push the film back. And then we've got Flash, which has had its own little problems with directors trying to find someone who has a decent, or a coherent vision that matches Warner Brothers. Wonder Woman, which is slated to come out fairly soon. There's been
Wonder Woman.
Yeah, but there's been a lot of
about
underground rumble.
That woman.
Anyway, moving right along. No, there's been a lot of wondering about that, so you got me doing it now. Thank you so much.
It's my job.
I know. But there has been a lot of rumbling from fans people who've had advanced previews of that and have said it's not all that great. Although the latest word is that it is, so hard to say.
Rumbly grumbly.
Yeah, and now this. So take that for what you will. We've got the full article that you can read on our website. We will have the notes for you, or the link for this in our show notes. But I am disturbed on top of everything else. And as it looks like now, I mean, we may be seeing Aquaman in Justice League before we get his standalone film. Now, wouldn't that be weird?
That would be weird.
Yeah, I would hope not. Anyway, now Disney has been really cranking out the animation to live action remake thing. That is their new big push. And
when are they going to do Finding Nemo? Live action.
You can actually see that at Disney's Animal Kingdom.
Yeah.
They have it there. So if you want to see live action for the stage remake, go there. You'll find it. But the next...
I want to see it with live fishes.
Live fishes? CGI fishes like they did Jungle Book?
Yeah.
Yeah, they already did that. It's called Finding Nemo, the movie. It's already there. Any case, there is another movie that's slated to be done. Mulan. They're going to be doing this one. Now, I remember when the animated film came out, the musical and everything. It met with a lot of controversy. A lot of people from the Chinese community were not happy with it. They felt it did somewhat of a disservice to the historical character of Mulan, because she's very important to them culturally speaking. Mm-hmm. Well, this film that they're going to be doing will not be a musical. They're going for an all-Asian cast. And let's see, the new director is going to be Nikki Caro. Caro's other credits include The Whale Rider, North Country, Zookeeper's Wife. And so she will be doing this. And right now, the talk is that they're really going to be making a very serious film about this. It's right now slated to be $100 million plus, but they're looking at doing this in a very, very serious cultural manner that does that really does respect to the role of Mulan. I'm really happy about this.
Yeah, it could be.
I'm it's nice to see them actually taking something. This has always become some sort of subgenre in of itself. These remakes that we've been seeing. I mean, even with Jungle Book, we had music in there. We had songs. King Louie had a song. Baloo had a hint of a song, more like a whistle. So to see them do something that sounds like it's going to be a complete left turn from what the animated film did, I think this has a lot of possibilities.
Back to their live action
dramas. That, but I think also doing a really good historical story about someone that, as I said earlier, has great cultural significance to the country China. I'm very happy about this.
Disney Earth presents Mulan.
Disney Earth?
Well, they do all those other wonderful things.
Like, please.
Well,
go on.
The big cats, and they did all of this. So this could be some cultural event. They'll call it Disney culture, not Disney Earth.
Disney culture.
There we go.
Okay, well, everybody, you can wait for the first Disney culture film to come out November 18th, 2018, which would actually be 20 years after the animated movie came out.
Yeah.
Now, we recently ran the red band trailer for Alien Covenant. Now, I'm bringing this up because I want to have a little discussion with you. Now, you've not seen any of the Alien films.
No, I haven't seen this trailer either.
No, you haven't. Now, granted, there was a time where you and horror movies just did not get along.
No, we didn't get along.
Did not get along in the slightest bit. And that's probably why you never went out and saw Alien in the first place.
Yeah, probably.
Would you see it now?
I don't know. Maybe.
Maybe? Okay. Just wondering. You might want to take a look at the Red Band trailer to give you an idea at some time. It is another Ridley Scott film, as we said. It's pretty gnarly. It's a gnarly looking flick.
Okay.
That's all I have to say on that. I'm kind of looking forward to it. I don't necessarily want to be grossed out though.
Yeah, that I just don't like.
I don't
gross
need
out.
I don't need to be grossed out. And there was, and really likes to do that. He really likes to shock the viewers. And I'll be perfectly honest. I don't know if he can even top what he did in the first Alien film with the chest burster coming out of John Hurt. I mean, that was one of the most shocking
I bet
scenes.
that hurt.
Well, you have to ask John. Oh, I'm sorry, you can't. He's dead.
Yeah,
But in any case,
I bet that hurt too.
yeah, I'm sure. Well, you'd have to ask him because he's dead. In any case, I like to be scared. I really like to see a movie that will actually terrify me. I don't necessarily need to see a movie that's going to gross me out, and that's my one concern. That this movie's more going to be playing more towards the gross than the scare factor. That's my only takeaway on any of this. I mean, I liked Alien. It did have 2 nasty, ugly-looking scenes, but the rest of it was kind of scary. Prometheus was a huge disappointment. Beautiful looking, not the least bit scary. More for visual grossness, and that's about it. So I'm looking forward to Covenant. I have a funny feeling that if we ever go to a press screening, that I'll probably be going alone on that one.
Probably.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to want to join me on that one.
No,
Not your cup of tea.
not my cup of tea.
Okay. Well, speaking of scary, and this is one that I'm very, very, very happy about.
Delete.
Yeah,
Delete.
but I don't think they ever said.
No, they never said that.
They never
Not the original Cyberman.
Not the original Cybermen, and they are coming back. These creatures are terrifying.
Yep. The new Cybermen were. Yeah. Okay.
Okay,
They were scary.
but why did they? What? Okay, what is a Cyberman? For anybody who has never watched Doctor Who, what is a Cyberman?
A Cyberman's a Cyberman.
Okay, that does not help any.
It's a metal creature
Okay,
that was at one time human.
and they just enhance themselves by replacing themselves with robotic parts. They're
Yep.
sort of cyborgish,
Yeah. Well, they're sort of yeah.
but very
Borgish.
well. But yeah,
But
Borgish
more.
sounds Swedish.
Yeah. Yeah. No, they're more Borgish, but they replaced all the parts except for the brain,
Yeah, but
and
as
then corrupted the brain in the process.
but as we started getting to, and I'm trying to remember, did we ever see the Cybermen during the John Pertwee era?
I don't.
I do not believe we did. We saw the Daleks a number of times.
Yeah.
I don't think we ever saw the Cybermen. I mean, they are there in the Patrick Troughton era. In fact, probably the very first time I believe we see them in the Troughton era is Tomb of the Cybermen, which is one of the scariest Doctor Who episodes I've ever watched. I mean, really, really scary. And Michael Hickerson of Slice of Sci-Fi and I, the two of us, we wrote an article on that. We both found that to be one of the best Cybermen episodes ever. And these Cybermen are these Cybermen are the ones that we saw in the 10th Planet, the final episode from the Hartnell era. And granted, they were a little cornball, tiny bit, because cheap budgets. So there was really not a lot they could do in order to try to create this terrifying kind of creature. So like every time it spoke, all it would do was just open its mouth, and then this very distorted sound would come out.
Right.
And so it was kind of cheesy, but there was still something very creepy about it. I mean, they look like the Mummy, but with robot parts on it.
Right.
And to me that's kind of scary because you're seeing humanity taken away. And that was the terrifying thing about it. I mean, these things were human, and their humanity is now gone. I mean, these are almost like the precursors to the Borg themselves.
Right.
But because you don't see a face, it's just bandages with dark circles for eyes and a hole for a mouth. I mean, you really get the feeling like you're looking at something that is almost like a mechanized zombie.
Yeah.
Really terrifying. In any case, they're coming back for the first time, and they will be back. We have the article. Check this out because it really goes into greater detail. But these are the Cybermen that come from Mondas. And for anybody who doesn't know, Mondas it orbited on the other side of the sun in parallel to the Earth. So the one planet never saw the other, but they shared the exact same orbit as Earth did. So that's how they were introduced. Mondas ended up being destroyed. They later settled on the planet Talos, which shows up every now and then in other Who episodes. In any case, they will be back, appearing in episodes 11 and 12 of the final Doctor Who season. And while I was initially excited about that, does appear to be one slight drawback to all of this. Someone else is going to be in that episode, and someone that I'm not very happy about. The psychotic wench herself, Missy.
Oh, dear.
Yeah. So somehow I kind of get the feeling she's going to be responsible for Doctor having this run-in with these old Cybermen. But I'm fascinated from a story standpoint how they're going to do it. I think it could be... I'm hoping that they give us something scary.
It could be interesting.
I really would like to... I mean, Doctor Who's been trying to do something a bit more adult these days. I would like to see something really, really scary. In any case, if people want to know what we're talking about in terms of the Cybermen, just go to the links on our website. We will have a link for this story, and the article on our website has an actual video clip from the 10th planet. You can see what the Cybermen were like back then, and this will kind of give you a nice little primer as to what they might be like in the future.
Yeah, go check it out.
This is Gareth David Lloyd, Yanti from Torchwood, Solus from Dragon Age, and Jacob Fitz from I Am Alone, and you are listening to the Two Gay Geeks.
And if everybody knows, that's our birthday music. And here are a few selected birthdays for March 20th through March 26th. March 20th, Carl Palmer.
The only surviving member of ELP.
Yeah.
I am depressed.
Yeah.
But still going.
Yeah, still
Man, the
going.
guy still rocks. We saw him recently in Asia, and he was just jamming like mad.
Yeah, and half of Asia's gone now, too. A third of it.
Well, a quarter of it.
A quarter of it, yeah.
Yeah.
Also on March 20th, Freema Agyeman and Fred Rogers, also known as Mr. Rogers, for Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, that is.
Right.
Also March 20th, John Delancey and Lauritz Melchior was born in 1890. Lauritz was a tenor, operatic tenor, and he sang through the 30s, 40s, and into the 50s.
Yeah. He had quite the career, especially when the Met came into existence.
Yeah. Also, on March 20th, Sergei Rachmaninoff and Henrik Ibsen. That's the playwright, Henrik Ibsen.
Not to be
Henry.
confused with Henry Gibson.
Yes.
Who did like bad poetry on Laugh-In.
Yeah, this is Henrik Ibsen, the playwright, born in 1828. March 21st, Gary Oldman, Rosie O'Donnell, James Coco. He was so slappy.
Yeah.
Oh, you have chocolate? Oh, you have buns? Buns? You have buns?
My buns are good. Buns? You have buns? You have buns and you haven't told me?
Anyway. Also, March 21st, Modest Mussorgsky, who wrote Pictures at an Exhibition, was born in 1839. And Johann Sebastian Bach, 1685.
To 1602. No, I'm sorry. That's his. That's the last of his illegitimate children, P.Q. Bach.
March 22nd, Werner Klemperer, who was the son of Otto Klemperer, who is a famous conductor, and he was also Werner was an accomplished pianist of his own
really
right.
good pianist, but
Yes.
everybody knows him as Colonel Klink.
Colonel Klink.
He was an excellent actor, a very good comedic actor, but
Yeah.
which sadly I think made his piano playing kind of take a back seat.
Yeah, there was one episode of Hogan's Heroes where at the very end he was playing the piano.
Oh, well, I'm glad. 'Cause he really, and he was a good sport about it too.
Yeah. Also, March 22nd, Andrew Lloyd Webber, William Shatner. And Marcel Marceau. Marcel Marceau, as everybody knows, was a famous mime. He was French, obviously.
He was French mime, and he is famous for having the only speaking line in the Mel Brooks movie, Silent Movie.
Yes. No.
That's exactly right.
And a funny little story, my sister and I couldn't have been more than 4, 3, something like that. We were in the tiny elevator which at J.C. Penney's in Muskogee, Oklahoma.
I seem to remember you telling me about this.
And there was a lady. There was just enough room for us, the elevator operator lady, and one other person, or maybe two other people. And there was this lady who had lots of wild makeup. And, of course, in a child's whisper, I say, "That lady looks like Marcel Marceau." Of course, you know. Oh, dear.
Much to the horror of your parents, I'm sure.
My mother, yes. Anyway, also on March the 23rd, moving right along, we have Chaka Khan, Werner von Braun, and Joan Crawford.
How interesting, especially now that there's the FX series Feud that was about the difficulties between Joan and Miss Betty Davis herself.
Betty Davis. March 24th, Jim Parsons, Bob Mackey, and Joseph Barbera.
Of, I believe, Hanna-Barbera.
Yes. March 25th, Patrick Troughton. We were just talking about the second Doctor. And
yes.
The Cybermen and all of that. Also, March 25th, Lee Pace, who was...
he was Ronan.
Ronan, as well as he was the Elven King.
I can't remember. You know the characters' names, but...
I can't remember anyway.
But he was Legolas's father.
Yes. And there's a number of other things.
Yes.
Also on March 25th, Sir Elton John. And Bela Bartok was born in 1881. He wrote Bluebeard's Castle.
Which was one... Oh, if you can get to the Met Opera website, I'm pretty sure that it's there now. You have got to watch what the Met did with that particular opera.
It's a great horror film.
It is. It's a phenomenal horror film. One of the best operas I've ever seen. You know, which shows that horror can work in opera.
Yeah, it can. Also on March 25th, Arturo Toscanini, born in 1867. He was a famous conductor at the Met, the New York Philharmonic, I believe, and a number of other places. So, March 26th, Steven Tyler. That's just for Jeannie Koch.
That's for Jeannie.
And also Leonard Nimoy.
Who had a birthday the day after Shatner, if I'm not, or just right around Shatner's.
Yeah, same.
2 days. 3 days.
Yeah.
4 days. 4 days after.
3 days, 4 days. 2 days. Who cares? Also, March 26th, Tennessee Williams, Robert Frost, and Duncan Hines.
As in Heinz Duncan Frost. No, I'm just joking.
Yeah. Robert Frosting and Duncan Hines.
Yes.
And the many birthdays we missed during our hiatus. In the rest of February, we had Christian Hodko, a friend of ours that we've interviewed about the morning after, and Audra Hall, one of our oldest friends. I mean, you knew Audra before you knew me.
Yeah, and you knew her mother before you knew me.
I
know that is the weirdest coincidence.
Weird, yes. And Amanda Lang Messick. Amanda in Tennessee.
That's how we knew.
February.
We knew her as Amanda in Tennessee from Slice of Sci-Fi.
Yep. In March, we had Claire O'Leary, one of our very first listeners of this show.
And she still follows us.
She still
God
follows
bless
us.
her.
Lisa Godot and David.
Who?
Huh?
So people might want to know who Lisa Godot is.
Lisa Godot is Sam Roberts' sister.
Sam Roberts from also Slice of Sci-Fi.
Slice of Sci-Fi, yep. And we have David Hunter and Lathe Preston.
From Slice of Sci-Fi.
Slice of Sci-Fi. Pia Thrasher.
Oh, we love Pia.
We love Pia. And Andrew Ian from Beyond the Impact. And Margaret Juntwaite, who was the announcer for Met Opera Radio.
Yeah, she's sort of like the voice for the Met.
The voice of the Met for many years, who passed away last year.
Yeah, what a loss.
Happy birthday, Margaret. And Michael R. Meningay of Slice of Sci-Fi, who's kind of the godfather of this podcast, if you will.
In a weird sense, yeah. Although he's like, I'm not doing podcasting anymore.
Yeah. Also in March, Crazy Joe Fiore, Andrew Godot, who was Lisa's husband. Travis Oslin from Beyond the Impact. And Chuck Tomasi.
The Tomasi guy.
Chuck Tomasi guy from
Technorama.
And that is the birthdays for this time.
This is Kenny Rotter from the Dumbbells and Dragons podcast, where nerd and fitness collide. Join me and a guest every Wednesday for a new episode where we talk about all things nerdy, pop culture, and health and fitness. Follow me on all social media at Dumbbells Dragon, or just search Dumbbells and Dragons. Work out, nerd out.
Go give a listen to our friend Kenny over at Dumbbells and Dragons. He'll be glad you stopped by.
I love that guy. He's such a nice. He's
He's
really
actually
nice.
this weekend. He's doing a mutter in New Orleans, and I don't know whether I could ever do that. But
No. I
that's
think
craziness.
I think my clean gene would just be kicking in way too much.
Yeah. So here we go. And what does that mean?
Means we got a lot of comments.
It's listener feedback time.
And we've had quite a bit build up. So going back, starting from episode 108, we had a comment from our favorite twins.
The twins?
The twins, Lookie. They said, how sweet. Thank you so much for the delightful shout-out. For the 2017 season, also covering retro television series, 1950s, 1970s, Teletime series, and we'll have mini reviews of movies selected by theme. Series is called Fivers. Side note, regarding retro television series, at time of posting, Barbara Hale, the actress, well known for playing trusted right-hand man or woman to Perry Mason, the character, on Perry Mason from 1957 to 1966, and in revivals of the show in the 1970s and 1980s, had recently passed away at the age of 94 on January 26, 2017. Moving right along, because we then, in that same episode, had a little chat about Hercules in the Underworld.
And yes.
Well, because, just so we...
Yeah, we'll give a little shout out to Arizona Opera. They have picked up Hercules versus the Vampires, which was an opera that was, it was commissioned by the Portland Opera to new music and set to the Hercules in the Underworld.
And it's the opening... It's the opening opera, you want to call it that, for their upcoming season. Anyway, Lookie continued on with Hercules versus Vampire opera as an operatic companion piece to Hercules in the Haunted World, better known as École al Centro de la Terra, from 1961. Is offbeat, fair enough, but probably campy as anything and a fun night out. Yes, as Keith, co-host, notes around the 421 moment, could also possibly be helpful in introducing opera to audiences that might not otherwise have a strong interest in the art form. As a side note, visitors' interest in promo video about the production mentioned is available at Arizona Opera, the channel, and its episodes titled Hercules versus the Vampires. Regarding the 6-minute, 6-second moment, we happen to watch the movie, entertaining because it happens like total happenstance. We like to imagine that someone tripped over the remote or something, and then they wrote dialogue for us.
Yes. What's that?
Hercules, 1960s epic version.
Pure camp.
It's got Christopher Lee, the actor.
Neat.
And Roy Reg Parker, the bodybuilder.
As Hercules, naturally.
Well, naturally.
By way of Mario Bava.
Really?
What? Some iffy dubbing?
All right.
Plus vampires.
I know what we're watching.
Yes.
Thank you, Lookie.
Yes, thank you.
We
Lookie.
love it when you get the script stuff for us.
Yes.
Anyway, also, Arkle left a comment from episode 108 saying, I totally get why the TG Geeks didn't read the most incorrect Voyager quote entry for that episode. And that is correct. We didn't. And I will say this. He followed up his comment with hashtag drive the censors crazy. And we will have the link for this incorrect Voyager quote in our show notes. I will not read it, but let's just say it has something to do with Caligula, Hitler, and Gestapo orgies.
Oh, dear.
And that's all I'm going to say. So then, moving right along, we ran a story about a horror film from Canada called Devil in the Dark, not to be confused with these classic Star Trek episode, and how they had released their first scary trailer. And Tom Albert Gulbertson had written a comment. He simply wrote, looks good. Actually, he wrote, looks good. At least that's how I'm reading it. I wanted to say that I was a little disappointed in it. As I said earlier, I like to be scared, and I have seen some horror films that have absolutely scared me out of my head, terrified me to know. I mean, scared me so much that I literally felt the hair on the back of my neck just stand up. I mean, that kind of terrifying. Didn't get this, but hey, it's just a trailer. Maybe they could actually turn something out that really is terrifying, because there is something really cathartic about watching a movie that will just scare the pants off you.
Yeah.
So, anyway, we then later ran another story about what to look forward to with Phase 3 of the Marvel films.
Phase 3.
Phase 3, because they're getting ready to, arguably Phase 2 is coming to an end with Infinity War.
Mm-hmm.
Arguably. I mean, there's some discussion as to whether that is the end of Phase 2 or not. Kevin Feige kind of goes back and forth. He seems to suggest that Infinity War is going to end Phase 2. Anyhow, but there was the article about what to look forward to with Phase 3, and Tom, once again, commented, "It has been mostly great. I would have loved the stakes to have been higher in Civil War. A death there of, say, Captain America would have made the movie perfect. Then Bucky Barnes could have taken the Captain America mantle just like he did in the comics. It's my biggest niggle with that film." Now, let me just add this. I was terrified they were going to do that. I was really afraid. It would have made for a very emotionally powerful film had they done that in Civil War, but I would have been enormously depressed because Captain America happens to be my favorite character on all the Marvel movies. Anyway, Tom followed up with, "Next to the videos from Sokovia and New York being used as examples of how dangerous the heroes are, I feel like it would have upped the drama and emotional investment greatly, so I wouldn't lose interest in future films. Not that I did. Can't wait for Infinity War." And I do agree with that.
Yeah.
It could have created some sense of honesty and almost a sense of real-world risk to see the possibility of heroes actually falling for good. I mean, the closest thing we got was War Machine possibly being paralyzed for the rest of his life.
Right.
And then to finish things off, ran a story about a movie called X-Force, how it just received a director and will likely be getting an R rating. And we got a quick little comment from Carol Chernich. She simply wrote, "It looks exciting." Now, before I read my friend Donald Black's comment, the reason the studio decided to go ahead and approach X-Force with a possible R rating is because of the hype that was surrounding Logan. And my friend Donald Black says, "You mean thanks to Deadpool?"
Yeah. That's why.
Well, yeah, but Deadpool got an R rating for completely different reasons. I mean, let's be honest. Deadpool has unicorn porn. Let's be real. Okay? That's why it got the R rating.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so that's it for the comments, and we thank you for everybody that has commented on our website, on our YouTube episodes, on everything, and we appreciate it. Just a reminder, when you do comment, please play nice. I hate to say that every time, but we just have to.
And luckily, everybody has been playing nice, which is nice. We
Otherwise,
appreciate
we
that.
delete them. Anyway, so you can comment on our Facebook page or at TG Squared Studios, and on our website at tggeeks.com. You can also comment on our YouTube episodes, or you can leave us a voicemail and get a shout out on a future episode. And that voicemail listener feedback line is 469-TG-GEEKS. That is 469-844-3357.
Hi, I'm Patricia Chica, director-producer of Morning After.
And I'm Christian Hotko, writer and actor of Morning After. And you're listening to the Two Gay Geeks podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Time for a little bit of possible controversy.
Controversy?
Iron Fist. Now, this is a series that just dropped on Netflix last week, and it's being greeted with a lot. Mixed reviews isn't even putting it nicely. It's being greeted with a lot of criticism.
Yeah, a lot of negative.
A lot of people are just hating it. There is the minority. There's an audience out there that does like it,
Yeah, one sitting next to me.
Yeah, I happened to be one of them. I did. I didn't love it, but I did like it.
Yeah, it was okay. I mean, the second episode was better than the first. The first one, it's like, okay, if I'd never watched another one, I would have been fine.
Yeah, but the thing is, I would have
because
said
it didn't grab me.
But I would have said the exact same thing about Sense8.
Well, but
because it wasn't until episode 5 of the first season of Sense8, which, by the way, next season, May 5th. Hold on. But with the first episode of Sense8, I was like, I have no idea what the heck's going on, so therefore, if I don't watch anymore, I'm not missing anything.
Yeah.
But we decided to stick it out, and it was well worth the wait. Now, yes, this one was different.
But with Marvel and Netflix and this, you were expecting, I mean, I was expecting something to hit the ground running and be super duper, kind of like Daredevil was and the others.
Yeah.
But it just kind of, it was there.
Yeah.
It was just there.
That's
what I will say.
I think a lot of it has to do with maybe some of the hype, some of the promo that we were getting. I mean, we got some interesting promo on Daredevil before that came out. We got some really
it was new and exciting.
Yeah,
too,
but we
so.
got some really awesome promo on Jessica Jones.
Yeah,
I mean that whole noirish gumshoe kind of thing, which set the tone in a completely unique sort of way from anything else. And then Luke Cage was basically a spin-off of Jessica Jones, so there was already a built-in audience there.
Right.
Iron Fist was the weird one in all of this because it's the most different of them all. This is the mystical one. This is the one that has to do with magic.
Yeah.
The other three did not. The other three were very science-based. This one is really dealing a lot with mysticism. I mean, it has this very mysterious Asian monastery that only appears on Earth every 15 years. So there was a lot of weirdness already surrounding it. So maybe they had no idea how to package it.
Yeah,
in terms of a promo. And so what were the problems that you had with it?
I just it just didn't grab me. I thought it was how do I describe it? I think somebody described it best as, who wrote this? A 10-year-old?
Oh, that was thank you, Uncle Mikey. That was you.
Yeah. It really was kind of like very sophomoric, not sophomoric, but just very bland and like, real bleh.
Okay.
I just didn't like it. I didn't. It didn't go anywhere. It was dumb dialogue. It was him fumbling around, and I didn't like it.
Okay, but you said you liked the second episode better.
Yeah, I mean, it started to pick up, and they started to introduce some things. The first episode left me with like, I don't know where it's going, and I don't know why it's even here. What is its purpose? And the second one starts to give you some kind of purpose for the series. And this, if I didn't know about the series or didn't know something about it, this wouldn't have even gotten the 3 episodes test for me.
Really? And we've only watched 2.
Yeah, I would have dropped it at the first one.
Wow.
Yeah, because it didn't go anywhere. It didn't do anything. I had no reason to go back and watch the second one other than the fact that you pressed play.
Yeah, I did. So yeah, I will take responsibility for that. But I would force this only for one really big reason. Is because the Defenders, which I should point out, I was just announced moments before we started recording.
Yeah,
that production finished.
Yeah, well, and that's the only reason that I continued to watch, is because we knew he's a part of Defenders, all of that, the whole hype of the Netflix Marvel series and all of this. So obviously I need to know something about him to watch the Defenders,
Possibly a little bit. Also, one thing that I thought was really odd, I saw a posting on Facebook. Someone was just really just berating the entire series. Or I don't know if they watched the entire series, but whatever they watched, they just totally tore it apart and started making references to like The Hand And I kept thinking, well, how can you be criticizing that when this is something that was introduced in Daredevil?
Right.
So this is just another kind of thing where, it's it's all connected.
Right. And that was the interesting
point.
part of episode 2 is they introduced that, and that he was the foil to the hand and all of that. So it makes it interesting. But,
But would you be willing to watch more at this point?
Yeah, I'd watch more just to see where it goes.
Okay. And people have said, people who have toughed it out have said usually, by the time you get to like episode 4, episode 5, it really starts to pick up. And someone else said that they watched like the last 2 or 3 episodes and said it really got good.
Right.
So,
but, like I said, if there hadn't been all of this other connection, I wouldn't have watched the second episode.
Okay. Well, fair enough. So we'll definitely be giving more Iron Fist a try. Now, moving on to something else that is of equal controversy, Beauty and the Beast.
Beauty and the Beast?
Now, Booty and the Beast.
Yeah.
And the Beast.
The Beast.
The Beast. Now, I have
Begin the Beast. Oh.
No. Was that by Glenn Miller?
Yes.
Yeah. There is an article, a review for this film. You can see it on our website, and we will have the link for that in the show notes for this episode. In short, I will say that I absolutely loved the movie.
It was great. I loved it. I liked it a lot.
What were some of the... Okay, let's start with the negative. Was there anything about the movie you didn't like?
The one scene where she is introduced to her bedroom, and the filming when they first come into the room was just it was awful. I just
really
I thought they could have done a better job of introducing that room. I just didn't like it.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it threw me off. But that was about the only thing that it really. I mean, there was of any negativity to it.
Okay, so let's go to the positives. What were some standout things that you really liked?
I liked the village. I thought it was interesting that they put them Belle and her father right in the middle of the village instead of outside.
I noticed that too.
In the animated version. I also liked Gaston's tavern, if you will.
Oh,
yeah.
I love the tavern, and I would say that, and I don't know if this is art mimicking life or whatever, but it really did look like Gaston's tavern at Disney World.
Yeah, and then there was what I say. They filmed it at Disneyland. There was one piece that I said that, and while we were watching the film. Also, I liked the castle. The castle was great.
Oh, the castle was fabulous.
And the way it transformed at the end was really great. I enjoyed that. I liked the introduction of it, how it really showed how the prince was very wound up in himself. And I didn't realize that the spell had been put on the villagers too.
Spoiler.
Yeah. So it was kind of interesting.
There's also a nice little background on the prince explaining why he is the way he is.
Exactly.
There was good fleshing out of character.
There was good fleshing out and telling more of the story instead of glossing over it. Obviously, for the animated version, you don't have to really tell the whole story. But I thought it was really good.
What about the cast?
The cast was good. I enjoyed the cast a lot.
There was a lot of controversy again about Emma Watson playing the part of Belle, and the fact that now I've seen a lot of people are saying that because she's not a trained singer, that her voice was auto-tuned during the singing. Did you get that?
No.
I did not get any sense of there being auto-tuning going on, and I'd like to think that I got a pretty good ear for that.
Yeah. I didn't detect that at all.
What about the songs?
The songs were great. I'm glad that they brought all the songs back and that they added the new ones that they had.
Yeah.
From the stage play.
Actually, I
really helped tell more of the story too.
I need to be corrected on something. I thought There is a song in the movie. It's the Beast's big song, and it's a heartbreaking number. Very sad. I thought I had seen that from the stage play. Turns out it's not. It was brand new. It's an original song. In fact, all the extra songs were originally written by Menken and Tim Rice for that film.
Oh, great.
So they were completely new material. Some people have said it didn't fit. I disagree.
Oh, I thought it.
I thought it worked really well.
Helped to fill out the rest of the movie and the songs and the story.
I personally loved it. And what was your reaction when the movie began to when the credits were rolling?
I was pleased. I was happy that
I was sobbing.
Yeah, it was. Of course, the original animated version made me cry too. But,
and it still does.
It was beautiful.
It was lovely, and can I just say I adore Emma Thompson as Mrs. Potts.
Yeah,
she was so delightful. She really did what I thought was a magnificent job, and to see her at the end. But I love Emma Thompson anyway.
Yeah,
I just adore her. I think she's magnificent. So yes, we loved the movie. I know we're going to own it when it comes out on home video. We'll probably be seeing it in the theater again.
Yeah, I
would not object to it. And it's
done well at the box office too.
It has done very well. It has shattered box office records. It's made $170 million as of this recording. So that is the best March opening ever, I believe. I don't think Disney was expecting it to be that big. So yeah, I'm really thrilled for this. I'm very happy. I know there's a lot of expectation for it, and I will say that there was one number that I almost I wanted to stand up and applaud when it was over, and that was at the end of Be Our Guest.
Oh my gosh, yes, it was great.
I mean, I really wanted to just stand up and cheer like I was in a live theater watching the stage play.
Yeah,
it was so magnificent, so well done, and I can't say enough about this movie. I absolutely loved it, and that's that.
It was great. And, of course, we have our follow-up items. Check out our calendar on the website for film festivals and cons, etc., and birthdays. Also, be aware, as everybody knows, we are supporters of independent creators, whether it's comic book artists, filmmakers, any kind of independent creator. If you see somebody that has a crowdfunding campaign for some creative outlet, please consider supporting them. Usually you can do it for very little, and you can be a part of something that could be big. You never know. Support independent creators. Phoenix Comic-Con, May 25th through the 28th of 2017. Back on Memorial Day weekend. Less PTO to take.
Yay.
And PhoenixComicCon.com has a lot of info. There's tickets available and still hotel rooms available.
Still hotel rooms available. And
lots of wonderful guests. Oh, my gosh.
Holy smokes. And they just recently announced Charlie Cox.
Charlie Cox and John Bernthal.
John Bernthal. So there you've got your Daredevil and your Punisher right there. I would like to see them have the same panel.
Yeah, you never know. They might.
That'd be great.
They might have more. You never know. Also, Verde Valley Comic Book Expo, April 1st at the Cottonwood Recreation Center. Special guest is Chris Giarusso.
For people who don't know who he is
a comic book artist, and he has spent most of his life in New York City, and I can't remember what things he has done.
But if he was working in New York City, then he was probably working for one of the two big boys, be it DC or Marvel, maybe even did both at one time.
You never know.
And probably contributed to some really big titles.
Yep, he will be the special guest there. Check it out. I think it's probably $5. That's what it was last year.
Last year it was $5,
and or something.
It's
a fundraiser for the Cottonwood Library.
And I can't recommend that event enough. It seems like a very small thing to go to, but that opened us up to such enormous possibilities, and that's how we found out about Occupants, the movie.
Yeah.
So it's definitely worth checking out.
Yeah. Check it out. It's a small event, but it's
a lot of fun.
It's a lot of fun. It's kind of intimate. You can get a really able to talk to people there.
Mm-hmm. I'm very excited about it. Special thanks to Doctor Who Talking Who on Twitter. They put out the Doctor Who Fancast Guide, and they are continuing to republish our stories. That always just puts a big smile on my face every time I see that little Twitter alert saying that they republished one of our stories in their Fancast guide. You can find them on Twitter. They're at Talking Who. And a little earlier, we gave feedback from good friend Arkle. He is Brian Weber. He puts out the Arkle Times Post Dispatch News. He is on Twitter. He used to be social justice scald. Now he is the Nazi punching scald. You can find him on Twitter at Arkle. He also has the incorrect Star Trek Voyager quotes that we were talking about, and might as well see what's the latest one that he's got. Okay, here's the latest one. Captain Janeway. 7. Are you hacking into the Borg mainframe? 7 of 9. Hacking is such an ugly word. No, I'm. Yeah, totally hacking into the Borg mainframe.
Mm-hmm.
Where do they get this stuff?
I don't know.
So anyway, yeah, you can check them out there. And we also have to give thanks to Sci-Fi Obsession. They're always republishing our stories, and they can be found at facebook.com/sci-fi-ob. That is SCIFIOB.
And as usual, we want to give our shout out to The Lucky Show, the twins. They always give us such love on Twitter and on our YouTube episodes. Thank you to the twins. Check them out on Twitter at Lookie Show, and you can check out their YouTube channel, Lookie Show. If you like old movies and good reviews of old movies, real short reviews, they're the ones for you.
Yes, and twins, I just want to say this. Now, Keith and I have been begging, please, leave feedback. That would be a lot of fun. But if you don't want to leave us feedback, here's a better one. How about a bumper?
Yeah.
Ooh, I would love to have a bumper for your series on YouTube that we could play every now and then on our show. So just consider that.
Yeah. Just contact us.
Please, yes. Also need to give a shout out to the Facebook group, The Gay Geek, for allowing us to post our episodes on their page. Their URL is facebook.com/groups/thegaygeek. It is a wonderful page, not just because we can share our content there, but because it's just loaded with really, really awesome content, very interesting dialogue, and everybody there is just insufferably nice.
Yeah.
So that's always a great thing. And special thanks to their highest moderator there, Jeremiah Reeves. Jeremiah, we thank you.
Thank you so much. And we want to remind you to every once in a while, click on our Amazon ads. We have widgets on the side and ads at the bottom of each article. It just lets Amazon know that we're driving traffic to them. And if you decide to buy something from Amazon, buy it through one of our search ads. That would be great. We get a little bit of a kickback from them. Thank you for your consideration. And lastly, but not leastly.
Bigly.
Yeah.
Leafly.
And rate us on iTunes. That would be helpful.
Yes, it'd be very helpfully.
Helpfully, yes. And nextly.
Weekly. Oakley dokley.
Oakley dokley is right. Up next time, who knows? We have something for you. So
stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Okay, that should do it for this episode of TG Geeks Webcast. Be sure to check out the article for the webcast episode. We'll have several links on the page that you can click on and go to the articles and or items that we have that we talked about. And remember, you can comment on our Facebook page or our website, tggeeks.com, or you can leave us a voicemail at 469-TG-GEEKS. That's 469-844-3357. From TG Squared Studios, I'm Keith Lane. Thanks for listening. I bid you peace.
Cheersly!